Okay. All right. Now everything should be working fine. I had a small problem with sound. Let me confirm that you guys can hear me. Now. Okay, you can hear me, so we can start. You see, that's why I always check the sound before I start the show. So yeah, my name is Hightech. Of course, for those that live under a rock, because I'm so people popular, it's difficult to not know my name. And on these live streams, I talk about what just happened today in the cryptocurrency market, what do I think about it, and of course, somewhere in between the lines, I explain what is high tech. This is Mimicon here, and this is the mint address of it on Solana network. It was issued on Solana network. What is it, and why maybe you should be interested? So let's go. Let me quickly take the last look. If everything is organized here, but apparently it is, so we can switch the screens. Let's go. Let's go with the show. So if you guys have any questions, of course, write me in the live chat here. Or I'm here, of course, I will see Rumble. What else? Rumble. Oh, and again, I forgot about Kik. Sorry, guys, allow me to quickly turn on live chat on Kik because sorry for that. I don't know what the hell was that. Okay, here it is. Sorry that I'm starting a little bit unprepared. Here it is. This is a new thing I decided to do. Always activate. Okay, now. All right, here we are. So here is live chat for Kik, and here is live chat for the rest except X, and X I have on my phone. So now everything is served well. Okay, I will not skip anybody. So guys, let's discuss what we are dealing with today on the crypto market. Is this anyhow surprising against what I was talking about yesterday? No, not really. Not really, because yesterday, Thursday, closed red. So I was warning you. I was giving you that warning since Thursday was red. Then it, because of how things behave, these times, it gives us much more increased probabilities that highly likely Friday, Saturday, Sunday will not look the best. And this is exactly what we've been dealing with since early morning, right? As you see, this is today's daily candle. It's quite noticeably red, even more red. The candle body is even more red than the candle body from yesterday. And how long will it take, right? How long will it take? I mean, are we going to go much lower than this? I mean, we have quite a reasonable downward inertia right now, but is it an inertia for one of those spectacular, Bitcoin crashes? To be perfectly honest, probably not just yet. I think we'll have to wait for it until deep November at the best, if it happens. This will be a huge surprise to me if this unfolds into a larger correction. So I would not count on it, although always remember I do not trade manually. Whatever I explain here, whatever my inclination is, I do not trade manually. I leave it to my algorithm, to my systems. And as you have seen at the very beginning, I'm out of this market already, right? Here was my exit. And last trade was profitable. So just before it started to trend downwards in a quite convincing fashion, my position got closed. So, it's always important to calculate in what my system does, because it has quite a good record of guessing things right. But fundamentally speaking, just doesn't add up in my opinion that we get a large correction right now. But there was already one time when I said something is not adding up, and we went other way around. So who knows? Maybe this time it will be somewhat similar. Hopefully not for those that are heavily loaded in, and but even if we really collapse from here, we will have a crash even on Bitcoin market, because so far we've seen crash only on the altcoin market. But on the Bitcoin market, I mean, this here this is like a very, very standard move that happens once in a while, every, let's say, 3 months. And it's nothing outside of the ordinary, nothing that could just yet tell us that any kind of disaster is around the corner. So if indeed we correct big from here, then it will be just a delayed huge payday. It will be a payday, but slightly more delayed, right? Because as you see, I will completely skip that move, and whenever upward momentum comes back to this market, then my algorithms will allocate into it back again, right? And then I will be riding the wave up, all of it, all the way, right, till the end. So it's not like it will be disastrous to myself, but yeah, we'll have to wait a little bit longer for market to, again, cool off a little bit, go sideways for some time, and shake out all of the rest of weak hands, just so we can finally start somewhat sizable rally, right? So all of that process takes its time. It never rushes too much. So probably, in that scenario, we are looking at the beginning of first quarter of the next year. So that's quite a long time, given how long we've been waiting so far. So I'm definitely not for that. That's definitely not my preference. I rather much more. I'll be much more keen to see a rebound from here, which in my opinion is on the higher side of probabilities, on the better side of defense. But I could be wrong, of course. Of course, I could be wrong. I've been wrong in the past. I've been very right in the past too. But on a couple of occasions, if I was trading, if I were to trade what I thought I saw in the chart, then it would have cost me a lot of money. So fortunately, I have my systems that do it for me. Bitcoin dominance, for example, I have a prediction regarding Bitcoin dominance too. So on Bitcoin, I'm still leaning towards a rebound on the Bitcoin chart. I mean, we are going lower. We are still continuing with the correction that started on Friday. In my eyes, this is the thing I've been explaining for the last few days, that we are in the midst of that secondary dip, when people that got by accident, on the way down, their limit buy orders got filled in, and after that strong rebound we had, they found themselves out of a sudden in a huge profit by pure accident. So that is why when they see market does not behave in the most obvious manner, so if it doesn't have a strong continuation of a rally, then they start to doubt in what will happen next, and they just slowly sell off. Hence, they cause that second wave of selling pressure, but this time much smaller, because you know, who's supposed to sell. 99% of market participants that's supposed to sell in a panic, they are already sold. They practically gave it away for almost free at 99% discount in many cases. So I think that is literally what's going on, right? Secondary dip, and once that one is over, we're up for a very big move up. But when it comes to Bitcoin dominance, when we go over, for example, to the daily, I believe what we are dealing with, I mean, this is still quite an early stage of inverse Adam and Eve. So we'll see something among those lines, something like this. It could be much, let's say, lower. I mean, this turnaround, this U-turn could happen much lower. Like for example here, it could also happen slightly higher, but that one is very unlikely. So probably it will happen somewhere in between, like here, for example. And this is a bearish formation, by the way. Inverse Adam and Eve is a bearish formation, and I think that's the case. That's the case. Of course, this is what we are doing right now. I call it a predictive trading. And predictive trading, generally, judging by my personal experience, is very inefficient. It has very low hit rate. So maybe it will unfold into something else. But for now, that's what I think fits the best. Overall market structure and fundamental conditions from the environment from fundamental side of things. I think that would make a perfect sense. So yeah, probably we will go slightly higher, and then we'll start to slowly take a U-turn, and then it will roll over. Finally, the least scenario. The least probable scenario is that we will keep railing here until we approach this zone, and then I don't know, stay here for a while, and then overcome it, or even just even without speculating on what will happen later on. That alone, to really to continue this rally up until 63.3, that I see very, very unlikely to happen. So if I were you, I would not bet on it. I'll definitely not bet on it. Why? Because the other chart, which is somewhat inverse correlated to what Bitcoin dominance does. Right now, it happened to revisit this very, very historically strong support zone from 195 until 245. As you see, this thin zone, this thin zone in between 145 and 245 and 250. We have breached, but that does not ruin our chances, because generally all of this white zone, I almost say the white, all of this white zone it has worked very well, has proven itself very well as a support when we approach it from the above. So that's why I think it favors let's say reassumption. It is that of the upward trend here. That's how I see it. I mean, look how it worked in recent several months, right? Or even in recent years. Like whenever we were coming down here, even if we stayed for a while, at some point it was kicking us off quite high. So, given how strong sell-off this market just experienced on Friday, that kickoff will have to happen. And now we have a secondary dip, meaning that even more weak hands will get shaken out. So yeah, we are getting literally a perfect setup for a powerful rally, very very powerful rally. I know there is a lot of people calling for no altcoin season this cycle, and I keep repeating that it is literally impossible. The reason why we haven't seen the altcoin season yet is because most of market participants went to trade futures market, right? And whenever there is more liquidity on the futures market, the more incentive there is for market makers to move the price in an inconsistent manner, right? So to avoid sustainable rallies, to avoid sustainable uptrends or downtrends, because then they have to monetize, those traders that by pure accident guessed which way we are about to go now, right? So that is why they have to keep it very choppy and just keep liquidating whatever side bets bigger, right? So that is why that was the main reason why we still haven't seen the altcoin rally. But since now, as you see, people are getting more and more burned on derivatives market, they are literally leaving it, and those that stay, they transition over to the spot market, right? So now, slowly but firmly, the biggest incentive for market makers transfers to the spot market, and on the spot market, there is no other way of juicing this market. There is no other way than pumping the prices, right? So that is why at some point they'll have to do it. They literally will have to do it. They'll have to, because something that will raise the attractiveness of the spot market, will attract the attention, will attract retailers and their capital, and they will pump those markets really really high, make them believe average Joes that that's just the beginning, and then they will of course dump on them right into their hands, right? And like I said, we haven't seen it in years already, right? Because of derivatives market, but the way derivatives market is treating, their market participants right now is such that it will not be able to hold them anymore, right? It will not be able to hold them hostage there much longer, because it's been way too carnivore, let's say, way too carnivore, way too brutal. Well, who knows? Maybe that's the plan, right? Maybe that's the plan. Maybe that's the effect of their calculus, of their calculations. I'm talking about the big guys, the big players, and now it's simply time for spot, right? All of the money they could possibly earn in derivatives market is already in their pocket, and now they have to attract the remaining part of global finance, let's say, that does not bet on the futures market, because either it does not know how to do it, or knows that part knows that the futures market should be avoided at all cost, because the games there is so rigged that sooner or later you just have to lose. That's the brutal reality of it, and that is why they just, at least temporarily, they cut its head off, right? And this way people have no other choice like to look the spot direction. By the way, guys, if you have any questions, of course, write me in the live chat. If you don't have any question, then just write me hi. That's good enough. That's always cool whenever there is there is interactions from the other side of the screen. So yeah, so tomorrow and the day after tomorrow probably it will stay like this. You know, we are losing the last selling pressure now, in my opinion, of course, that there is in this market. Once those guys jump out, we will have to rebound in a visible manner, in a very easy to notice way. But yeah, it's pretty much always looks almost the same. So huge dump, some kind of recovery, secondary dump, and then off to the races. Look at, for example, COVID crash. Very similar pattern. So yeah, let's take a look at S&P 500, how that one has been doing today. So okay, we opened low, but so far the daily candle is green. Let's zoom it in. So more or less we stay in the same zone. More going sideways than anything else. And yeah, since Thursday closed in red, it's going to stay like this. I mean, for the rest of Friday, it will probably stay like this. We will not go over here. We will not abandon this price cluster here. Probably will not even go here. Much below it. So it will remain like this until Monday, highly likely. Of course, Saturday, Sunday we'll be able to look into it through SPYX. So tokenized version of it on Solana network. How it behaves. What's in the cooker for Monday? You know, how is it going exactly while nobody's looking, while nobody's trading at TradFi. But yeah, that's my guess. That's my expectation. It will be boring. It will be very, very boring, and observing it on the right time frame, you will not get much action unless you just switch to like 1 minute candles or 5 minute candles or 1 minute candles. Something way too small that you should never really be considering for trading purposes. So that's how I see it. Can we go below 100K on Bitcoin? Yeah, of course. I mean, from here we are not that far off. That wouldn't be anything outside of the ordinary if we have, I don't know, additional minus 6%. But this will probably not unfold into one of those large corrections on Bitcoin. You know, those that everybody knows what you are talking about when you talk about it, like those, you know, minus 50, minus 70% dips. I give it very, very small chances. So yeah, okay, let's take a look how liquidation heat map is presenting itself. This one gives me a little bit of curiosity. So 24 hours, so how the liquidity is distributed. Okay, so yeah, as you see, we can go up or we can go down on both sides. There is a little bit of liquidity above the price, beneath the price. In this small context, let's take a look at monthly. And on the monthly, definitely there's much more liquidity on towards the upside, above the price. So yeah, of course it could be spoofing. So in this case, spoofing would consist of displaying large amounts of liquidity above the price and then selling off. But yeah, I don't think so. I mean, the way this liquidity behaves, the fact that it is coming down from above all-time high, it suggests very strongly this is natural, right? this capital here belongs to real people, and they're losing their patience. They start to be a little bit fearful. The Bitcoin market will not revisit all-time highs, and that is why they lower the openings of their shorts, their entries for shorts, and they will get squeezed, of course. That's a perfect scenario for a short squeeze, right? So slowly but firmly, in a very consistent manner, market makers keep dumping, keep suppressing the price, just so shorts come down. When they come down enough, then they squeeze it, they bump up the price. Of course, previously they open large longs and they just grab that liquidity, right? That's what I expect to happen. Okay, let's go over to liquidations. How does it look through sheer numbers? $452 million, almost 453 on Bitcoin. That's something. That's really something. And $281 million on Ethereum. So on both sides, that's quite high against the numbers we saw before last Friday. Since Friday, of course, all of those volumes went up immensely, but no wonder, because a lot has happened. And it definitely made people much more awake. It woke people up, because one side of the market now is betting big on a bear market, and another side of the market is betting big on a rebound. But I think much more people are leaning towards the bear market, which of course makes it less probable. Like yesterday, I was reviewing more or less what most of those big influencers say, and vast majority of them expect not so good time ahead. So yeah, given that this is a zero-sum game, literally the opposite should occur. So crypto fear and greed index is at 28, so we are getting deeper and deeper into greater level of fear. So that's good. And Alcon season index at 27 also. This one is also lowering. As you see, yesterday there was outflows from Bitcoin ETFs and Ethereum ETFs, minus $587 million in total. So yeah, retail is panicking, right? Because remember, Bitcoin spot ETFs or Ethereum spot ETFs, those do not belong to BlackRock, Fidelity, or Vanguard, or whoever else. Whoever is selling there, those are not the entities themselves, but their customers, right? Usually on Crypto X, sorry. Oh my god, I got lost. Usually on Crypto X, people portray it as if it was BlackRock themselves or Fidelity themselves that do the sales, but it couldn't be further from the truth. Those are their customers. So, and the very well known retail, the famous retail. All right, haven't I missed anything? No, I don't think so. Yeah, let's go over to X and let's see what Crypto X is saying about today. Okay, let's take a look at Crypto Bubbles just before we do that. So as you see, strongly red day. I mean, we've seen definitely worse results, like for example on Friday, but it's quite strong. So the rebound will be merciless. Once it happens, it will be absolutely merciless, and I think it's around the corner. Okay, let's take a look at my timeline. By the way, here there is data analytics about how the tutorial about how to acquire high tech is doing. So it has 54 media views, as you see. So 54 times people have watched it. So that's quite something. We don't know how many people, because that could be some people could watch it several times. So that's why it's a little bit, that kind of data is a little bit inaccurate. But yeah, I mean, more and more people are watching it, are interested in spending their time with that material. So that means at least to some extent they are thinking about getting some, right? About getting some high tech, and I think you should do too. Of course, I'm talking about the meme coin I promote here, which, because it is the only project I promote on all of my social media, indirectly translates to a stock market of my social media. So it's kind of like you can invest in this X profile, you can invest in this YouTube channel or Rumble channel. And in that sense, this is a very unique proposition. And yeah, it's still very early, right? We have 63 holders. So it's definitely very, very early. I think it is worth, considering to throw $1, $2, $3 at it, something small, something safe, even for, let's say, any scenarios in which something could go wrong. If you lose, I don't know, a couple of bucks, let's say, that's possible to survive. But me myself, I'm sky high convinced that this is just the beginning, and we will see evaluations here per token in thousands of dollars, and at some point in dozens of thousands of dollars. So this is still very, very early. Link in the description section of these live streams if you want to look up the tutorial how to acquire high tech. It's very straightforward. And if you watch it on X, then on my timeline, as the pinned comment, right on the very top, you will see the same tutorial. And the same tutorial that the data of which we have displayed here, the analytics. Okay, let's take a look what we have on my timeline here. Just seeing Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index falls to 22, but this one is another Fear and Greed Index than the one I consider, I respect. This one moves a little bit too schizophrenic, to be honest. Breaking Ripple Labs to rise 1 billion DAT. Ripple Labs is reportedly leading a $1 billion rise via a new digital asset treasury DAT to accumulate XRP per Bloomberg. Okay. Just out on Forbes, Bitcoin is a political money that people from all across the spectrum, from different cultures or political leanings, will all be buying Bitcoin. Blockstream CEO Adam Back. Yeah, Adam Back is one of the oldest one of the oldest G's. Literally, he was. I think he is around Bitcoin from the very beginning. Like since 2009, he's involved in the space. So from the earliest days. Inside, Brian Armstrong says people won't even know they're using crypto in 10 years' time. Yeah, probably. That one I agree with. That crypto will overtake global finance, and it will be the main infrastructure for it. This one we already have seen yesterday, that Charles Schwab says that, no, this one is different. Sorry, I take it back. Charles Schwab just said live on CNBC that investor interest in Bitcoin is up 90% and surging. Wall Street just getting started. Okay. SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce says tokenization is a huge focus for the SEC now. Yeah, tokenization is that one thing that for sure will push greatly the American stock market and generally the American economy, if done right. If they tokenize everything, put it on fast blockchains, allow the whole world to own a piece. With that one single move, they will, make use of all of the global liquidity, not only the one that is in the United States. So that's a huge game changer. That's actually the strongest catalyst for the altcoin season period. Bitmain owns over $8 billion worth of ETH. They didn't buy this to make a loss. Yeah, probably. Yeah, they own quite a lot. And Tom Lee keeps buying. YouTuber Mr. Beast has filed a trademark for Mr. Beast Financial. The filing suggests he may be preparing to launch a new venture in financial services. Okay. So probably it will have something to do with cryptos. I think that's the idea why CoinDesk is even mentioning about it. You know what, these guys I will just hide because I just cannot look at stupid people, sorry. I don't have that patience to be discussing with stupid people, pushing back and forth. You're stupid, I kick you out, and that's it. This one is about outflows, but from where? Over the past 24 hours, Ethereum bridge flows saw a massive exit of funds, signaling rising on-chain volatility. I don't really understand this data here. Like, in what sense? It was a on-chain withdrawal, like from where to where? This one is another stupid one. Breaking Bitcoin, Binance have just started liquidating Bitcoin longs. That's not Binance. That's not Binance. That's just market makers. There is many on Binance, and it's not like Binance is hiring them. No, absolutely not. They just they have large capitals, and they just squeeze out the market left and right. That's how they make money. Whenever there is too many longs, they squeeze longs. Whenever there is too many shorts, they squeeze shorts, and so on. So now apparently there is too many longs, and that is why they are squeezing longs. But that will shift. With this dip, that will shift. BlackRock just bought almost $47 million worth of Ethereum. They are accumulating your coins. A good one. Anthony Pompliano breaks down Bitcoin's latest price dip and why Bitcoin is still a safe haven. People realize that they're never going to stop printing money. Yeah, that's true. That's the foundation of fiat system. Another one. That's probably a dude anyway. ETH versus BTC. Perfect retest of the bull market support band. Nothing unusual. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so far so good. So yeah, apparently the biggest news today is that Mr. Beast is entering finance services sector. SEC Chair Paul Atkins says we must admit that Bitcoin and crypto's time has come. It's a new day at the SEC. Yeah, it will, of course, it will stay and it will expand no matter what. Same with altcoins. Altcoins will stay and will expand. Okay, guys, allow me to wrap it up. So it does not, become too boring. There's not really much to talk about from X side, X side, at least for now. Maybe I will live stream sometime later today again. I will see. But yeah, again, nothing surprising today. After Red Thursday, we follow with Red Friday, as it has been the rule for so many weeks already. Saturday, Sunday probably will stay somewhat similar. The biggest chance is for Sunday to flip the script at least slightly, and then prepare a solid foundation for Monday to finally change the record, let's say, and yeah, I'm still leaning bullish in the midterm. I'm leaning bullish for the remaining part of the year. I think it will catch everyone with pants down, like literally within days, and people will be afraid to jump back in because they would think it will roll over shortly after it just got up, and it will keep railing probably until at least mid November, if not at the end of November. That's how I see it for now. Of course, I think that is the most likely scenario right now, and we'll see. Am I right or am I wrong? In not so long time. Okay, so share, like, and subscribe, guys, and don't forget that you can get invested in what I do here, in all of my social media, in all of my work with high tech meme coin. Since this is the only project I promote here, so it translates to an investment gateway. And yeah, looking at it from this side, it's quite an innovative thing, definitely a new approach to meme coins. So consider throwing at it one, $2, or maybe $3, just as an experiment, just so you can forget about it for some time, and eventually get very nicely surprised, in a year or two or maybe three. I think it makes sense. So share, like, and subscribe, guys, and maybe I see you sometime later today. Cheers.